Hello, it's David Mickel. Um, so I'd like to talk about the emotion of fear and the fact that fatigue is not caused by fear. Fear is an effect of having symptoms such as fatigue and the energy disorders. So while it's true that our physiological body, when we have chronic fatigue syndrome or long COVID or fibromyalgia, ME, any of these conditions that I call the energy disorders, it is true that the body is in a chronic fight or flight state, which I believe is because the hypothalamus's homeostatic feedback mechanism is no longer functioning as it does when we're in health. But what happens in the progression of that is, if you remember that symptoms are caused by a lifelong neural pathway generating repression of useful emotional information from our body, which is completely separate from our heads. So, as this progresses and then eventually symptoms are generated, there is definitely the advent of a fear state linked to the symptoms. But that's an effect, not a cause. So, suppressed emotions such as anger in any given moment now can lead to the production of symptoms, and the head kicks in with its filters of generalizing and deleting and just not giving us the full amount of information about things. It changes it as it enters through the filters. Is that then the fear is produced about symptoms? But dealing with the fear about symptoms does not address the cause. Of course, some of the modalities that deal with fear, a lot of work with the amygdala, etc., they they have their place in dealing with that uncomfortable secondary emotional state of fear, whereby through very powerful NLP techniques, you're changing the head's patterned response to symptoms. So the fear stops and you choose differently. But it's hit or miss, I believe, because if the underlying emotion is, for example, boredom, lack of fulfillment from the body, produces symptoms, and you address the fear and then make a decision to do something that doesn't correspond to the underlying emotion of boredom, lack of fulfillment, then your symptoms are going to start to come back. So I think it's very important for me to understand that fatigue is not caused by fear. Fear is caused by the experience of fatigue. True body emotion of fear is, it almost never causes symptoms actually. It is just a request for missing information, which when the missing information is found, then the fear can stop. And this is true of even in conditions such as anxiety and Mickel therapy. With any of the energy disorders, we don't focus on the head response to symptoms. It's not a reliable source of information because of its filters and the way it's programmed to basically protect us in a different way from body consciousness. It's already set to give us fear responses. But I'm sure if you ever suffered symptoms of any of the energy disorders, you look about yourself, you can see no source of fear except the symptoms itself. Therefore, the fear that you're experiencing is effect, not cause. And through our process, we have, over the last many years, have found a way to almost get through that foggy distraction of secondary emotions created by the head, such as fear, and actually get into the body emotions and find ways to action them following a proper understanding of what they seek. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to say about fear because we get a lot of correspondence about it. Thanks.